Support for Michigan Public comes from the University of Michigan's Look to Michigan campaign, working towards a stronger, more connected Michigan, championing sustainability, global citizenship, and educational opportunity. More information at looktomichigan.umich.edu.
This is On Hand, a podcast answering your questions about what makes Michigan unique. I'm stateside producer April Van Buren. Last week, we talked about whether pop was becoming a passé term in Michigan. Check out the feed if you haven't heard that one yet. On this Offhand episode, we're going to bring you a personal pop story. Michiganders seem particularly tuned in to the pop versus soda debate. And maybe this is true in other states too, but it seems to me that nostalgia definitely plays a role in that. For a lot of us, Michigan's iconic pop brands are tied into special childhood memories. Maybe your mom would always get you Vernors when you had a tummy ache. Or you still remember the Faygo ads that played during your Saturday morning cartoons. Or maybe you have vivid memories of going to a Towne Club pop shop.
On the outside, they looked almost like an old-fashioned ice cream parlor, I guess. They just seemed like a fun place. As to like a kid's eyes, it just seemed like a place you wanted to be in.
That's Bobbie Bain. She's lived in and around Detroit her entire life. I reached out to her after reading a thread she started on Reddit asking who remembers going to Towne Club pop shops. So I called up Bobbie to talk about her own nostalgia for the Detroit pop brand.
I grew up pretty poor. So even as a teenager, having the ability to go to a pop shop and picking out your own flavors was still like a great treat for, someone who was pretty poor. And while I'm sure there were other pop shops in and around Detroit, Towne Club as a kid was the only one that I knew of. Once you got in there, though, there really wasn't much to look at. There was pallets on a floor, and on the pallets would be big cases. And these cases were wooden cases that held 24 bottles of pop. And what you would do is you would grab an empty case and walk around this warehouse floor, picking up single bottles of pop and filling up your case. Back in the mid to late 70s and all throughout, I would say even the mid 80s, there was a famous Detroit weatherman. I believe he was on Channel 4. His name was Sonny Elliott. He was the type of weatherman who would have jokes, corny jokes all the time. And I certainly remember seeing advertisements on television for Towne Club soda, like the pop shop, that starred Sonny Elliott.
Oh, love this pop. And Towne Club pop sales are going up, up, up. Why? Because Towne Club gives folks the biggest choice of taste-tempting, thirst-quenching flavors in town. Now, you can count them.
I remember it very vividly because as a kid, I found his corny jokes hilarious, and my grandfather absolutely despised him. He actually would call him Sonny Idiot.
Towne Club is the biggest bargain in town, and right now, you buy 2 cases, and you save an extra $1.
About 10 years ago or so, I stopped drinking alcohol and gave up many vices and tried to substitute them with more innocent ones. And I like to make, I guess most people would call it a mocktail, but I like to make like pop tails where, the main ingredient is some sort of soda and I dress it up in some way just to, and put it in a fancy glass just to kind of give me the feeling that I'm having some sort of like a fancy alcoholic drink without alcohol.
Thanks, Bobbie, for sharing your pop stories with us. Before we go, though, I've got a bit of a plot twist.
I prefer soda. I don't know. Everybody around here says pop.
I was going to ask you about that. So you grew up going to pop shops, but your preferred term is soda.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something more, like grandiose about the word soda.
Well, whether you're a soda or a pop drinker, we want to hear from you. These offhand episodes are going to drop every other week with a personal story from one of you. Right now, we're looking for your stories about the Michigan Dogman. There's a submission form in the pod notes where you can write up a little story for us or send it to us as a voice memo. And if you've got a question about Michigan, we want to answer it. You can submit those questions through our form on the website. Just go to the On Hand page at michiganpublic.org. Or you can email us. We are onhand@michiganpublic.org. That's it for now. We will be back in your feeds next week talking about what's up with the Michigan left.